Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. Okay. So I'm going to leave it right here. See what it says? On? Oh. Good morning. Thank you, Rob. If everyone could please take a seat, I'd appreciate it. If the members who are sitting out in the hall signing people in want to come in, feel free.
We have enough for a quorum. And the purpose of this meeting is just two things. One is to approve the budget for the year ended June 30th, 25. And the second is Stu Conboy will be pointing out some of the modifications from a security perspective that we've made here in the synagogue. So, and I'd like you to hold your questions till the end, that after Paul has made his remarks, and I'll turn it over to Paul, who is standing right in front of me. Paul? Oh, sorry.
Can you hear me? Yes. Good. Okay, because I've never used this thing before, so we'll see how it goes. You've each received a copy of the schedule containing the proposed budget for the year beginning July 2024 and ending June 2025. It's in two parts. What you received is really in two parts. The first 2 pages is a summary of each of the divisions of the shul, and the last few pages are a detail of each of those summaries, and I'm sure you've looked at it. The last line on the bottom of the second page indicates the grand total for all divisions, and the budget as approved by the board at the last meeting showed a deficit of a little over $140,000. There are a few items to discuss in regarding to that. The positive items on the budget projection are that we anticipate, we anticipate high holiday ticket sales to be going up this year as more people are coming back to services, and we have the slight increase in the rates. Our high holiday costs have been reduced since we have no costs for outside clergy. Cantor Krasner and Rabbi Kogan's salary includes the high holiday services. Our room rental charges, including the gym and a little bit in the catering hall and the social hall, have continued to increase, and kudos to Rita for that fabulous job. She keeps right on top of that. Since we have the sale of the Virginia courthouse, which I'm sure the Virginia court residents, as I'm sure you are aware, so we'll save about $8,000 there on annual maintenance. And income from our tenants, the Bergen County School, will be increased slightly by 1.5% each year. And that's been pretty much signed, or very close to being signed.
It's close to being signed.
That's included in the budget. And we also have an excellent maintenance and office staff that constantly are watching our expenses, not overbuying and looking for the best prices. On the negative side of this projection, the members' dues are projected to be a little bit lower because of attrition, change in category. We have fewer members, and I'm not sure if we will be able to sign up enough new members to compensate for the loss of the older ones. Our Hebrew school, while it's doing very well, we have more students than Fairlawn. The costs are appropriately higher, so that our share is higher. So there's a little bit increase it's an offset by the tuition, but not all the way. The youth group is doing okay, but we have a deficit there, and we need to make some kind of an arrangement to get reimbursed for some of the expenses that we lay out, and that hasn't been done in the past. There are also anticipated repairs to the cemetery sidewalks, and that hits the budget a little bit. So as of now, as of the way the board approved, we're still running a deficit. The areas that are most variable and can be improved to decrease that deficit are an increase in revenue. That means recruiting new members, retaining current members, and increasing programming, fundraising events, things of that nature. The expenses are relatively consistent, so it's hard to juggle with that. We have nothing that really is outrageously variable, so that's a problem. Included in the budget, as approved by the board, the Finance Committee recommended and the board approved an increase in dues of $75 per member unit, which is of course prorated over each of the dues categories. That is included in the budget and results in an increase of about $10,000 for the year. The last increase was pre-COVID, I believe. So everybody felt it was time. So that's the way it was presented to the board last month. I know you have some questions, so we'll entertain those now, and I'm ready for them and have the answers. So, thank you.
Any questions?
Yes, David.
David?
I hope you can all hear me. I have a pretty good voice, I think. Paul, first of all, thank you for all the work that you do for this community, because I know this is a lot of work as somebody who works professionally in this area, and I appreciate all that you're doing here. Full disclosure, I am a new member of the synagogue board, so thank you. No applause, just throw money in. And so I was not involved in this budget, but for years I have been coming to these meetings and objecting to the fact that the synagogue is continuing to run a negative budget. We need to be more in line with a balanced budget. And so at my first board meeting, which was this past week, I started to ask some questions about the budget, and I was corresponding with Paul on Friday. So the first question I have for you, Paul, were you able to gather up the information that I had asked for?
Yes.
Okay, great. So one of the things that I realized is that not only do we have reserve funds from the sale of previous real estate, including the New Milford Synagogue, but we also have funds from the recent sale of Virginia Court. So the first question that I had for you, Paul, was how much money do we have in savings as a synagogue?
Okay. Our current, hold on, different page. Our current cash and securities held at Morgan Stanley is just under $2.8 million.
Okay, so it's over $2 million that we have in reserve. And we're not reflecting any of the income that's earned from these investments in our budget.
That's correct.
Right. Do you have an idea of how much we earn annually?
Yes.
$1.
Based on the current CDs that are held and the current interest rates, the CDs are $2,370,000 and an average rate of 5.1. I'm projecting that to be $118,500.
Okay. So there's about $100,000 in income that we have that's not reflected in our budget. That
Right.
we only have some income that we get from Israel bonds, which I believe is $2,500.
Right, approximately.
Right?
Because we get that cash. The theory in the past has been, since we don't transfer the money from Morgan Stanley, transfer the interest income from Morgan Stanley, it's just rolled over into new bonds or new CDs, that it should not be recorded at the time. We can change that accounting procedure very easily, pick up the interest income as it's earned each quarter, and then it will be this 100,000 plus will be reflected in the income statements and in the budget.
So
118.
$118,000.
Right.
And we apply this to the negative 140 that you're projecting, we now have
About 21.
$22,000
Right.
in negative.
Right, which,
Now, that number does not seem to be too difficult in overcoming in terms of how we project the budget.
I have already chosen a number of categories that can be amended, since a lot of the budget are, are estimates based on prior activity. With a few thousand there, a few thousand there, I've come up with a balanced budget.
Thank you, Paul.
So sit down.
That would be great. So, I don't know if the process here is for us to be able to understand that, if the congregation wants to vote on a balanced budget without seeing your adjustments, or if it would be necessary for you to describe that. So, I don't know as to how you would like to approach that.
Paul and I have had a conversation, and we've discussed it, and he has prepared a balance or zero budget, zero income budget, and that is what we're going to ask the people who are here to approve. Bruce, I see you had a question.
I believe part of that money is, I think at one point in time, there were separate bank accounts for all the different funds. Like there were separate funds that people set up, and I thought they were supposed to remain separate at one point in time. I don't know who decided, but I think we consolidated all in one. Now the question is, even though the money's consolidated in one, do the funds stay separate?
Okay.
The answer is yes, they were still separate. The interest rate that we were getting at TD Bank was 0.00006 or something, some ridiculous number. So we took the funds. Let me finish. We took the funds, transferred them to Morgan Stanley, but specifically have which CDs are that were purchased at the time are keynoted for those funds.
I think the.
Arguing that we move the money, my statement is, should we still have the integrity of the different funds? And should those funds be, if we're working on fund accounting, should each of the funds stay separate? And the money that, like, even if we're getting a CD and one fund has $25,000, should they get that income allocated to them and not to the operating budget? Those are just the general.
The funds have never really reflected any interest income.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
And even in the prior years, any interest earned on that reserve account at TD, the funds were not allocated. The interest was never allocated to the individual funds.
I think I can explain it a little.
That's not what I'm asking.
No, I think I can explain it, Paul, a little clearer.
Go ahead.
We have $120,000 sitting at TD. That is a amalgamation of all the dedicated funds. Okay. The income from those dedicated funds, you take 120,000 at 0.0006, the amount would be de minimis. Secondly, and I know that you, David, and I are standing here and looking at this from a basis of accounting, and the synagogue does not use a generally accepted basis of accounting where they're
The issue is, should the funds that have been dedicated, the money that's been set aside for these funds, should the interest that they produce stay within that particular fund or move to the general fund? That's my question.
Or how much of that, of the money that's been specifically dedicated is earning interest, and how much that interest is part of the total number? I don't know.
It's de minimis.
The
Okay.
fund balance, the funds
One second,
balance
Harlan.
right now are just over 125,000, by the way.
Yeah, so
And I have that someplace here somewhere. Hold on a second.
Uh,
The current interest rate on the segregated CDs for the reserve account are currently earning about 4.5%. One is due next month, so it'll be rolled over, it'll probably be higher. So it would be taking the interest on that and allocating them over the funds is, I don't think necessary, but that's my opinion.
Arlen, you had a question?
I just had a comment, related to what Bruce was asking about, saying, I'm not an accountant, that's for sure, I'm only a lawyer, but if I recall when this issue came up when I was president, there's legal restrictions. Money was donated for certain purposes and restrictions on it. So we don't have the liberty to just, even though it's only an accounting method, to move the money out of these funds on paper into our general coffers. We're restricted, so we have to reflect that, we have to honor those restrictions. We weren't able, we tried, I don't recall details, but we tried to consolidate the funds as best we could, get rid of restrictions to the extent we could, get people to consent to making changes. But there are certain restrictions and we have to honor them. I think the question is, they were moved into one fund because we used to have 30 different bank accounts when I was on, and it was ridiculous to have 30 separate bank accounts for all these things. So we moved it into one. But as our good attorney has suggested, is that we have to still maintain the integrity of the funds. That's all I'm getting at.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Stu.
Any other questions?
So we're talking about the funds that are in reserve, only about $120,000 of that is specifically dedicated for certain purposes.
Right, and that
Right.
includes,
The rest of it is synagogue funds to be used for whatever purpose we deem it should be used. So we're talking about 4% of 120,000. So we're talking about $5,000, $6,000, which is right. And
go ahead.
No. No.
just making sure that we just
No.
do our fiduciary duty and allocate it.
We have, to explain it again, we have, Paul, I think you said close to $2.8 million sitting at Morgan Stanley?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
2.4 is CDs.
2.4 in CDs. So if you think of it, we have 2.4 in CDs. We also have an account at TD Bank for $120,000.
Not anymore.
What?
That was transferred to Morgan Stanley.
We transferred?
The reserve account from TD was sent to Morgan Stanley to invest. That's why I have the CDs in Morgan Stanley.
But we still have an account at TD.
Yeah, it has $2,000 or something.
Okay, fine. Then I haven't followed it. So Paul is correct.
Great. So I think that even if we wanted to exclude the money that's earned by those accounts that are serving certain purposes, then it's immaterial to the overall calculation of the adjustment. And even if we were to show a $5,000 or $6,000 deficit rather than a $140,000 deficit, I would be okay with that at this point. So the other question I had for you is related to the wages line for building. And I noticed that the wage increase was very small, like $1,000. And I was just wondering if you could explain, are we not giving cost of living raises to the people that maintain our buildings, or were there changes in the payroll?
I just want to come up to what you're referring to exactly. Okay. You're comparing projected to the budget? Let me get the actual here. Oh, I got so much stuff here. Yes, we did. There is no policy for an automatic every year cost of living increase. The actual salaries, because I've in effect completed the year-end statement, but it's not public yet. But the actual salaries were 111,894, and so the budget's 112 because I don't really anticipate any increase in salaries for this coming year. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But wouldn't see that, so I didn't allow for it. And that's only for the two custodians, Gallo and Alvaro. We had a third one a couple of years ago, but he was let go, so we're down to two. And their salary is somewhat variable because of the Gallo's salary, but Alvaro's hourly, and it depends on how many hours he works. But he just got an increase, so I don't anticipate a new one this year. That's why I did it that way.
Sandy?
Just my understanding is those men who are our custodians don't have contracts, they are paid hourly.
No.
Alvaro is hourly, Gallo is salary. Straight salary regardless of salary.
The question was, of our two custodians, how are they paid? So Gallo is per contract, and Alvaro is based upon the hours that he works. Yes.
One more question about what Paul has been, what David's been asking. In general, would this just be, it would not change anything to do with our finances? The money would just be allocated differently according to accounting rules? It's not going to make us more money,
No,
just going to change how it's on paper.
that's correct.
To use the expression lipstick on a pig, I think is appropriate here. All it is recognizing the cash flow we have from our investments in our budget to get it closer to balance. But the actual funds that are going to be used are going to be the exact same amount.
Thank you, David.
In theory, we could request that the interest income be transferred to us each time. That is a royal pain and not necessary because we're doing okay financially. I'd rather it sit in the investments account and keep being rolled over at a higher basis.
Jack?
Current is 2,025. It will be increased to 2,100 for a full membership. And then there's a whole, as you all know, a whole series of membership categories. So you can't just take 250 members times $75. It's allocated. Some are half, some are a third, some are 60%. It's quite a deal. Harlan?
Just how many full dues paying members do we have at this point?
I don't have that.
It's in the Rita's last report. I think it's about 74 to 75.
Dues paying members?
Full dude.
Oh, yeah, I don't have that list. I don't have that with me.
Harlan,
But let me just,
we have 75 full dues-paying members.
the increase, let me just add, the increase in the budget because of that dues increase is allocated over all the categories so that it's not reflecting a grand total. It's the 74 members at the $75, that's whatever it is, and then each category is increased to come up with the 10,000.
Do I have a motion from the floor to approve the budget?
The revised budget the revised balanced budget, which includes the items that we referred to today. I don't have copies of that for you, I'm sorry, but if you want one, if it's approved, and if you want, I can just email me and I'll gladly send it to you. And I will have them at the next board meeting, along with the year-end results.
That's what I was going to ask. So the motion was seconded. Let's do it the easy way. All those opposed? There being no no opposition to the budget, the proposed dues increase of $75,000
Now we have no zero, now we have no members.
of $75 is hereby approved. Now to the second portion, slight portion of the meeting, I'll ask Stu Conboy to just come up here and let people know what improvements we've made here in the synagogue as far as security.
Thank you, Paul.
On his way up. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here, because it's very important. And the member statements will start to go out first week in August as a result of the vote today. So that's good news. And find somebody to replace me. Thank you.
Our first vice president, and also co-chair with Joe Esrig of the Security Committee.
No.
Rabbi, why you're
I only did that once. The first year that I was here, the first week that I was here, I did, this wasn't on, and I opened up the car. There were no secrets. The whole building. This is the new, and eventually I'm going to put a piece of tape on it.
ever your company? I'm actually going to take this key away. That was the alarms. The old 1973 alarms.
Hold it. Is that what it is? Door locker.
Yeah, 'cause that was sitting on those, and we just got rid of them because it would make people hesitate. Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be closing the building in a couple of minutes. So as my father of blessed memory used to say to us after a long visit, don't go away mad, but do go away.